Welcome to the 2025-2026 school year at Hope Christian Academy. We are excited for the upcoming school year and are looking forward to having everybody back on campus soon. This slideshow is meant to give you a little bit of an overview of what to expect for the year. We'll go through some of the policies and procedures, and hopefully it answers some of your questions as to what things will look like this year. At HCA, we strive for life-changing hope, extraordinary connection, and innovative education. When we talk about life-changing hope, really that's truly why we're here. That's what it's all about. We want to share the love of Jesus. All of our teachers are Christian teachers who aren't here only because they're great teachers, but also they want to share the love of Jesus with students. And really, each and every day, we pray that our students are hearing that they are dearly loved children of God, that He has a plan for them, that He has forgiven them through Jesus, that every day He is with them, and that He has a glorious future in store for them. We want our students to build their esteem, their worth on knowing who they are as a child of God. Secondly, we're striving for extraordinary connection. Students learn best when they have a strong sense of belonging, when they feel connected to their classmates, to their teachers, when they know they matter, when they know that they're important, that they're seen, that they're heard. And really, we strive for that each and every day, that we have a welcoming culture, a welcoming environment, and that we're really building relationships and helping the students to understand how to build relationships. We want to help them foster positive relationships with their classmates, with their teachers, and we want to have strong relationships with you, the parents, and our community as well. And then thirdly, we are striving for innovative education. Research shows that the key things to focus on are critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. When we talk critical thinking, it means that first of all, we have to have something to think about. So it doesn't mean you throw out the window all of the facts and figures and just think, oh, I can just look that up on Google. No, we need to have a strong framework of knowledge and a broad understanding and base. You can't think deeply about anything that you don't already have content and knowledge to think about. Then you go deep with it. And how do I apply it? How do I summarize? How do I analyze? How do I evaluate? How do I use it? How do I problem solve? How do I use it in unique and new ways? So that's what we mean by the critical thinking. And then collaboration, so important to be able to work together in groups to develop those social skills, those really negotiating skills of how we're going to do this together, how we're going to uh, cooperate on things. And then the communication, it's not merely enough for me to understand things, but now I need to be able to share that with others, whether that's in written form and working on those forms of communication, as well as verbally in discussions, in being able to share my perspectives and my point of views, whether it's presentations and being in front of a group and sharing that information, that's communication. And then our fourth C, which wraps it all together, is Christian. We teach from a Christian worldview and a Christian lens, seeing all things in light of God's Word. This year, we are in our 50th year as a ministry. 48 as Huron Valley Lutheran High School, and the last two as Hope Christian Academy. It started in 1975. September 2nd was the first day of classes. So we're going to do a special celebration this year on September 20th. You'll be hearing more about that. But we're going to do a special opportunity to praise and thank God for all of the blessings of the past 50 years, and also as we look forward to the future. Our theme for this year is From Everlasting to Everlasting, You Are God. really focusing in on the fact that our God, who has been with us through all things in the past, is also with us each and every day right now and gives us a future that we can be confident and bold as we go forward, knowing that we are in God's hands. I want to introduce you to our teaching staff. First of all, the ones that are primarily in the middle school. The sixth graders will have Mrs. Martin as their homeroom teacher. And then the seventh and eighth graders are divided amongst three different homerooms, uh, Mr. Kepsel, Mrs. Stykes, and Mr. Ewer. Throughout their class day, the middle school students rotate throughout the classes. Mrs. Martin primarily has the science classes and will also be doing sixth grade religion and PE. Mr. Kepsel primarily has the English language arts classes. He also will have the seventh and eighth grade boys for PE and religion. And Mrs. Stykes primarily has the math classes, and she will also have the seventh and eighth grade girls for PE. And then Mr. Ewer primarily has the social studies classes. And then he also is the vice principal and so oversees everything that's taking place in the middle school. At the high school level, we also have advisors that stay with that class throughout their 4 years, so they really get to know the advisor well. They are the person that's looking at their transcripts and attendance and what they're thinking about for after high school. They're really individuals who can help guide the student in the things that they're thinking through. So Mr. Schultz will have our freshmen, Mr. Grzinski, our 10th graders, Miss Endorf, our juniors, and Mrs. Ruth, our seniors. Mr. Schultz also has the upper level math, and he coaches baseball and is assisting on varsity soccer. Mr. Grzinski also has the high school science classes, band, and he advises the National Honor Society and Student Council. Miss Endorf has yearbook as well as the English classes for high school and does our social media and marketing. And Mrs. Ruth, in addition to freshman English, does the guidance department, all the online classes, and is our athletic director. In addition, on our staff, we have Mrs. Ewer, his school counselor for the entire school, 6th through 12th grade. Mr. Martin, who teaches Spanish classes and freshman health. Mrs. Foley, who will be doing middle school PE and also being a teacher's aide and helping out with the enrichment periods. Mrs. Rumbell, who does the middle school band. Mrs. Howell, who you will see in the office and the one answering the phones. She can answer any questions about lunch or attendance or billing or things like that as well. And then I serve as the principal and will get to teach the seniors and freshmen for religion this year. Want to head into a few components of just things to kind of highlight before the start of the year. First of all, we want our students to really strive to excel in all of their classes, to work hard, develop perseverance, good work habits, and effort. It's really important that they are participating in group discussions, in activities. We want them to be curious and ask a lot of questions, kind of really be active and engaged in their own learning. We do put out a weekly eligibility report, and you are able to check out their grades and things like that in your FACS family portal. Secondly, attendance is super important. We talked about that component of that sense of belonging, and it really helps a student to feel a part of all of the day-to-day activities and in the flow of how the classes are going when their attendance is super strong. So we really ask that you work hard to help your child to be at school every day. Now, certainly there are times when a child is sick and must stay home, or maybe you have a planned vacation or some emergency comes up, and we 100% understand that. But there's also days when a child just feels tired and maybe has allergies or the sniffles and would prefer to stay in bed. And we say, hey, try to help them persevere through that, to understand that I don't always feel 100% every day, and yet it's important to still try to battle through that and be present and be there working. Um, so our absence policy is students may not have more than 10 absences in a semester to still earn credit. All absences in our system, there's not really like excused, unexcused, but in our system, it's just all absences are just absences. They go in the system as unexcused. It doesn't mean that we were questioning your reason for holding them home or anything like that. It's just that's how the system works. So they're all marked as unexcused. If we do have a note for it, it's a doctor's appointment, an orthodontist appointment, they bring in the note, then it does get marked excused and doesn't count towards that 10 limit for the semester. Another thing in really feeling connected to what's going on at school is to be involved. So most of our students really participate in sports. We call those co-curriculars, not extracurriculars, because they're really a part, another extension of the classroom, another extension of who we are. Gives them opportunities to be around their classmates in a different structure. Most of our sports are taught by our teachers and other Christians who really do a fine job in helping the kids develop leadership and all of those different attributes that are in sports, working together as a team, commitment, responsibility, perseverance, being able to handle the ups and downs. There are no cuts at HCA, so whether there's someone who has never played the sport before or they're a veteran at everyone is welcome and wanted. We also will have a lot of volunteering opportunities, especially at the high school level. All of our high school students are required to get 20 volunteer hours during the year. We have enough activities on campus to meet that 20-hour requirement, but they're also encouraged to go above and beyond that as well and finding other areas of service. The fine arts opportunities with things like pep band, or if we put on a drama performance, those are other ways to get involved and connected. Class activities, like the different things that we do throughout the year, whether it's dances or spirit weeks, or even just like when it's family night, and if I'm not on the team, coming out and cheering on those who are on the team. All of those things help families and students feel connected to what's going on. And so we really encourage you to be connected in that way. We will try our best to always have good communication with all of our families. We do a weekly Hawk Talk, so every Monday that gets sent out. You should receive that in your inbox through email. If you aren't, you can go to our website at hopehawks.org and just click on the sign up for the newsletter. We've got the weekly Hawk Talk as well as a monthly updates that goes out. But really do look at that weekly Hawk Talk. It's got a lot of good information about what's going on for the week or upcoming events or news and notes. And then Mr. Ewer also sends out weekly updates for middle school in addition. So the Hawk Talk's kind of whole school, and then he also sends out some special things for the middle school. Get onto your Facts Family portal. There is an app you can download through the Play Store. Um, and I think it's at a cost of $5 for the app, but it does make it easier to do on your phone. Otherwise, the Fax Family Portal works best if you don't have the app. It works best on a computer. It is free on the computer, and you can see a lot of things with both attendance and grades, as well as set up alerts or things like that. When you're coming to drop off or coming to pick up, don't hesitate to come into the office if you've got a question or you want to meet with a teacher or just see what's in your kid's locker, or things like that. At events as well, a lot of teachers are there. I'm usually at just about everything. We want to communicate with you as much as possible, so don't hesitate with what your questions are or thoughts that you have on things. And of course, you can always call or email the office. The email address for the office is mail@hopehawks.org. And then your advisor is really your first line of contact for a lot of things. So that's a great person to know their email address for as well. Just a couple of policies to highlight. The first one is in terms of cell phones. We are a no cell phone school, which means from the time that the school day begins at 8 o'clock until the school day ends at 3 o'clock, no phones, no phones. So we should not see a phone, hear a phone. Students are not allowed to use their phones. In the middle school, they keep it in the office. So when they come in the morning, there's a slot on the office door for them to put their phone there to check it in. And then at the end of the school day, they simply stop by the office again and take their phone. So then it's not a distraction. At the high school, we don't make them check it in the office, but they are going to be required to keep it in their locker, not on them. So that is going to be a change from last year. Last year, we still had the same policy of not seen, not heard, not used, but we didn't tell them that they needed to have it in their locker. It just needed to be turned off and not visible. This year, we're going to kept in the locker. Studies show that students, even if they have it turned off, if it's on them or close to them, it still serves as a distraction, especially students who spend too much time on screens and social media. They're constantly thinking about it, even if it's off, if it's in their pocket or if it's in their book bag sitting right next to them. And so to help them with this so that they are more engaged in classroom, they don't have that additional distraction. And frankly, for some of them to help break that addiction of needing that cell phone near them all the time, this is our new policy is high school students will have to keep it in their locker. If a high school student does have their phone out or doesn't keep it in the locker, it will be then they'll have to do like the middle schoolers, and they'll have to check it in the office each day to help them to do that. We do issue for the high school. All the high school students are issued a Chromebook. They should take care of those. Keep the charger at home, charge it every night, and bring it fully charged to school every day. Those Chromebooks, if they get damaged or lost, the students are responsible for that and for paying the price for it. A new Chromebook is approximately $300, and so we kind of go based upon what the damage is. If we can get it repaired for them, we do that. But they should really be careful with those and take good care of them. And then it's good to have a set of earbuds. We even either have where it can plug into the auxiliary port or they can be wireless. Either way, but so that if they are doing something on their Chromebook that needs volume, they'll be able to do that. For the middle schoolers, they don't take their Chromebook back and forth, so they aren't assigned a specific one, but they should also, obviously, when they are using them from the carts, they're responsible for treating them in the right way and making sure that they don't get damaged while they're using them. We do use GoGuardian software, so anything that the students do on their Chromebooks is monitored, and they shouldn't feel like that's their own device. So they don't have any privacy really with the device. All of those things are things that the teacher can monitor what they're on in real time, and the GoGuardian also records what they go through. And of course, it's got a lot of filtering devices and things like that. So students are not allowed to bring their own device. It has to be the Chromebook that we issue because that has our filtering on it. Dress code is always a question. What is our dress code? What does that look like? That's the same as we've had in previous years, but for families that are new, that includes no torn or ripped clothing. If a student wears leggings, they would need a top that goes down past the fingertips. No pajama pants, anything that has a logo or things like that, as long as it's not offensive or promoting bans or alcohol. If they wear hats to school, they should come off for inside, hoods down when they're inside, skirts at least fingertip length, no low cut tops or bare midriffs, no slippers. Dyeing of hair is acceptable, but not wild and crazy colors or things that really jump out. And then for the high school, no sweatpants or athletic attire for classes. They save that for athletics and gym. Middle school is allowed to wear sweatpants and athletic attire. Commonly, we'll hear something like, well, I saw someone else wearing it. That may be true. We try to be consistent on that, but I will confess that I'm not always the best at noticing all the time. And so sometimes people do get away with things that are not acceptable on our dress code. But when we do notice, and we will say something they should. Um, Change, or maybe it's a warning to, oh, that doesn't quite work with our dress code. Please don't wear that again in the future, that type of thing. We do keep, we've got a large supply of Thrivent t-shirts, so we do keep those on hand as well if somebody needs to change into something like that. And if it's a repeated offense and there's a problem, then that will result in detention. Few miscellaneous things. We are not allowed to dispense medication unless it is with a doctor's form. So if your child needs something that's going to be dispensed by us, by the office, then take that into the office and talk with Kathy Howell about that. And the forms are there that can be filled out as well. But even things like Tylenol, we're not allowed to give those to students. So if that's something that they're going to need, then talk with the office about that. Our school day runs from 8 until 3, but we do open the doors at 7:15. Any middle schoolers coming in at that time can go straight to the lunchroom, and they hang out in the lunchroom from 7:15 to 7:45, and then they head on to their homerooms after that. If it's a high schooler, they do the same thing but go to the library before homeroom starts. Please be here by 8 o'clock. At the 8 o'clock bell, then all students should have that. That gives them a little bit of time to get to their homeroom for the start of the day. And then if they're after 8:05 when the homeroom bell rings, if they're not in their desks prepared, ready to go, that's a tardy. And then the end of the day is 3 o'clock. If students have to stay after, if they're in a sport or things like that, then they go to that or that type of thing. We don't offer aftercare or any type of after school supervision. But if you're running late or things like that, or your student has to stay after school for a little while, they're welcome to stay in their lunchroom. Um, and then our lunch will work the same as last year. So students either bring a lunch from home. We do have microwaves that they can use for heat ups and such. And then a fast food option will be available each day for purchase. Families that want to do a lunch account and put a certain amount of funds in that account, they can talk with the office, talk with Kathy Howell about doing that. And then the students, when they order something, it'll just be deducted from that. Or the student can just bring cash along to school to pay for their lunch, whatever days they're ordering it. Um, just maybe a tip, that's an opportunity to teach students some responsibility. Like for example, with our own children, what we have done is maybe give a set amount for the month. So maybe it's something like, oh, you get $20 for lunch for the month. You can pick which days to use that for, and the other days you're bringing a sack lunch. And then they have some kind of independence and responsibility in selecting or choosing or which days they're having to pack a lunch at home, etc. This picture shows our loop for our traffic pattern. The parking lot has two driveways. The one on the west side is for exiting the parking lot, and the one on the east side where the number one is down at the bottom, that's where everybody comes in. So everybody comes in at number one, follow those arrows up towards number two, making a great big loop around that north parking lot area, and then curve around towards number three. And you can drop off and pick up students there by number three, and then they can come in and out by the breezeway there. Make sure that we do this, especially at our 3 o'clock time, because the parking lot will fill up with vehicles trying to pick up students at that time. And so by forming that great big loop around there, that allows us to get all the cars in and not have cars waiting on the street while students are coming out and trying to get into their vehicles. So make that great big loop. Students, as they come out at 3 o'clock, they can look for their vehicles in the loop. They can walk on the outside of the loop into their cars. And once you have your student in your vehicle, you can pull out of the loop and you make your way towards number four and follow that arrow out. And the exit there is on the west side of that parking lot. Please be very, very careful as you make that curve around towards number four. Drive slowly and deliberately around there. We do caution students and tell them they are not supposed to run out down towards number four and cross the parking lot there, going to vehicles without stopping and watching and looking to make sure that a car is not coming around that corner. But we want everybody to be super careful as they're doing that and drive very slowly. Please also resist the temptation to go directly from one to four and try to have your student come out down that sidewalk and pick up and try to shortcut the line that way. You may think that that is faster to pick up your student that way, but it really bogs down the flow of the loop because other cars that have already had their students jump into their vehicles are trying to come around that curve to number four. And if there's a car right there waiting for a student, nobody else can go anywhere. So please be respectful of that and follow that loop. If you are parking and coming into the school to meet with a teacher or check your student's locker or things like that, you can either take a shortcut and go right from one to four, basically, and then go into where it says parking. Or you can kind of go into the loop where it says number two and find any parking spot there and then come into the school. This slide shows our standard response protocols. We use the exact same language, vocabulary, and training as all the schools in Michigan and the Michigan Police Department, so that everybody's using the same terms and procedures and drills. We will have 5 fire drills throughout the year, 2 tornado drills, and 3 safety and security drills. We do keep our doors locked all the time from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock while students are on campus. All of our doors are locked. If you do need to come in to pick up your child or drop off lunch or things like that, just ring the doorbell. There's an intercom system right there at that front door. You press that, and Mrs. Howell in the office can buzz you in. So there's a camera and a microphone there. And then if you do have any questions on what any of the terminology means or what we use as we're teaching these things and the drills with students, please let me know. We do partner with Christian Family Solutions. It's a wonderful blessing to have Mrs. Hannah Ewer on our campus. She'll be on our campus Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. She is a licensed school counselor. She will be meeting with the middle school and high school students. Does like a short preliminary meeting just to let them know who she is and what her role is and ask them some questions about how things are going, etc. They are able to meet with her throughout the school year. They can do a drop-in if needed or schedule a meeting with her as well. Parents can also reach out, especially if you want your child to be meeting with her or have something to discuss. Send her an email. All of the staff emails are really easy. It's the first letter of their first names and then their last name at hopehawks.org. So for like Mrs. Ewer, her first name is Hannah, so it's H Ewer at hopehawks.org. Or for like me, I'm Matt, so it's M Foley at hopehawks.org. So that's the way that all of our emails work. So you can send her an email if you'd like to schedule something. And then she does short-term counseling with students, and if they need long-term counseling, something that's going to be more consistent, or if it's a specialized area that they need help with, then we do telehealth services with Christian Family Solutions. So we can help them connect with somebody. They can do that meeting on their Chromebook, either during the school day, like during a study hall time, or from at home, but we can help them connect with a really quality Christian based counseling if that's something that you as a parent are looking for. We will have lots of volunteer opportunities throughout the year. So just like we ask students to volunteer and get involved, it's awesome when parents can as well. There's no parent requirements for that. It's not a mandatory thing, but what a blessing it is when we can work side by side on various things that are going on. We're going to be launching something new. We're calling it our Kettle Club. Um, a kettle is the name for a group of hawks when they're soaring together through the sky. They're called a kettle. So I thought it would really be cool to call our group the Kettle Club. And what this is going to be is basically um, all of our parents can be part of the Kettle Club. It just means when we get together to serve in some way. So there's opportunities for service at doing like at sporting events with concessions and admissions whenever we're doing special events like our family night or supervising chaperoning for a field trip or for a dance or things like that, when we take students out for service activities or things like that, there's lots of opportunities to get involved, so we'll be sharing those with you throughout the school year, and we hope that you get connected with one of those. And then finally, just kind of upcoming. So we're just a week away from school starting. Next week, Tuesday, August 19th, we're going to have a special back to school night. So we have 2 new teachers who are here, Mrs. Stykes and Mr. Kepsel. They're going to be installed in our little opening worship service in the gymnasium at 5:30 on Tuesday. We're going to follow that with a meal and mixer. So we'll have tables set up in the gym. There's going to be a sign up genius if you'd like to bring a dish to share, and then we'll be providing the main part of the meal for that. And then we're going to have the classrooms open for you to go and meet your child's advisor. You can get your student's schedule, what their locker is. If you want to bring school supplies, things like that, they can already get situated in their locker. We understand not everyone is going to be able to make it to this night. It's not mandatory, but we would like a great turnout. It's a great opportunity to welcome our new families and to say hi to people you haven't seen for a few months here, and really a great way to start off the year, getting us all connected. So we'd like you to try to be there if at all possible. If your student's not there for that, they'll still get their schedule on the first day of school, and we have an orientation and things like that. So they'll still get well acclimated. But if you can make it to that, it's great. And then the first day of school for our 6th through 9th graders is on Wednesday, August 20th. It just runs from 9:30 until 1:30, so it's a late start and kind of a half day. We will provide lunch that day. We'll get pizza for the kids that day, and then they'll kind of run through abbreviated schedule of their day and really meet their advisor and meet their classmates, and we'll do an icebreaker and all of that type of thing. And then for the middle school students, if they're in volleyball or soccer, their practice is right after that. So you don't have to come and pick them up at 1:30 if they're in soccer or volleyball. They'll go right to that practice and then they can get picked up at 3:15. But then the ones that aren't in soccer or volleyball, they can get picked up at 1:30. Our new international students will be doing their orientation at 1:30 that day. And then the first full day, regular day of school, and then this is all of the students. So the 10th through 12th graders, your first day for coming on campus is the next day, Thursday, August 21st, and that's a regular school day for everybody from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock. Well, I appreciate you being, making it all the way to the end of this. Um, Policies and procedures aren't always exciting or glamorous, but it's good to get on the same page with everybody. And I thought this video might be a good way of doing that rather than making everybody come and sit down for me talking through. So that you can watch it in your own time. But if you do have any questions, please call the school office, and we are looking forward to a great year. God's blessings on the school year, everyone.